The triumphant return of Politics NC blogger Thomas Mills. Good morning, Mr. Mills.
Good morning, Patrick.
Thanks for taking the time. We got a lot to get to. Let's jump right in. These races are starting to take shape, it looks like now, at least the tickets for 2016. I want to be one that provides full disclosure here, and I know you do as well. Commissioner Holly Jones from the Asheville area, you were working with her in her run for lieutenant governor, and it was announced within the last day or so that she's going to seek the Democratic nomination for lieutenant governor. She's running against Linda Coleman, has already run a statewide race. In your estimation, obviously you think so, can run an effective statewide race out of Asheville?
Sure she can. You know, Holly's been all over the state. I grew up with Holly in Wadesboro, and then she went to high school in Asheboro. She went to UNC. She went to Duke. I mean, if you can bridge the Duke-Carolina divide, you can bridge just about any of them, can't you? But anyhow, she got in this race because she's been frustrated watching these really heavy-handed tactics that they've used against local governments. Mm-hmm. And in redistricting, and they tried to steal Asheville's water system. The courts stopped them from that. They meddled in their airport authority. They redistricted the county commission. You know, just like they've done in Greensboro, just like they've done in Wake County, like they've done in Lee County, like they've done in small counties all over the state. And, you know, this is not a partisan issue. This is a frustration with this General Assembly that crosses party lines. So, again, Thomas Mills will be working with her, but wanted to get a little background on her. She's running for lieutenant governor. The winner of that primary would take on, one would assume, Dan Forrest, who is the current lieutenant governor, Republican there. The race for U.S. Senate, at least on the Democratic side, is starting to take a little bit of shape as well. News that Deborah Ross, the former state representative, the Democrat, is considering. Tim Boyum with Time Warner Cable News, though, basically has said, for all intents and purposes, she's going to run. So this is someone, I don't want to say she's radical, but certainly she's a little left of center. I've interviewed her a few times. I've always found her to be an interesting person to speak with, and she does have a lot of respect of people, but she just got out of politics, in a sense, didn't she, Thomas? Or at least got out of elected politics. Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a couple of cycles ago now.
Yeah.
She stepped down. If I remember right, she's over at the Triangle Transit Authority.
She is. You're right. You're right about that. Yeah.
And you know, I don't think Deborah's any. I mean, you're right. She's probably slightly left of center, but she's probably pretty much in the mainstream for most of the Triangle. Mm-hmm. She was head of the ACLU, which is what people are going to say. Oh, that liberal group. You know, remember that crowd that defended the Ku Klux Klan?
Right.
That radical group, but. You know, and she'll catch a hard time for that. And anybody who's part of the ACLU is branded as being too liberal. It's just not true. But they're First Amendment people. The right wing loves the ACLU when they're in trouble. You know. But anyhow, so she's an incredibly intelligent woman. She was a leader over there in the General Assembly. She was always looked to as kind of part of the intellectual team when Democrats were in control. Got probably a pretty big network of people, so you know she would certainly make a strong candidate.
Politics NC blogger Thomas Mills. Then there's this gentleman, Chris Ray, who I believe is the mayor of Spring Lake. Word that he is considering, if not already committed to, a run against Richard Burr on the Democratic side for U.S. Senate. He is a relative unknown statewide. I think that's a fair statement. But he also, from what I understand, has a couple of tours of duty in the military. Thomas, is the problem, whether it's Deborah Ross, Mayor Ray, or Heath Shuler, is the problem going to be the fundraising network and the fact that the Democratic Party nationally will not pour a lot of money into the state, according to some, because they see Burr as not an easy target to knock off? I
don't think that's right. I mean, I think they realize that Burr's run good campaigns, and he's going to run another good campaign. But, I mean, he's still listed as among top 10 most vulnerable senators in the country. So, I mean, I think they get the right candidate, they'll get behind them in a heartbeat. The issue here is these guys don't make decisions this far out. They make decisions based on polling and data that comes in a lot closer to the election than we are today. If one of these candidates gets in there and is able to put together a type of campaign they're looking for, builds the momentum that they're looking for, and is showing the ability to raise money, they're going to be here. And it's competitive next summer. They're going to be here. You know, on the flip side, if none of them can really get off the ground and can't really put together the organization they're looking for, you know, they may not. My guess is that somebody will.
Final.
My understanding is there are a couple other people out there looking at it too. So,
any names? Any names?
No, not yet.
Okay. At least none you're going to tell us on the radio right now.
Right.
Thomas Mills, Politics NC blogger. Thomas, thanks for being with us. I know you're busy and out of town. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Now more of the stories we're following for you during this all-news 10 o'clock hour ahead of John Dodd from the Jesse Helms Foundation. We go to the News Center. Here is Mike Rayleigh.